Hi guys! Today I'm thinking about the top 15 cheapest countries in Asia in 2026. Living in the West, we are somewhat separated from the areas of the world which have a lower cost of living. And whilst we would all like our cost of living to be much lower, there is a certain acceptance that it's just the way it is here. But with prices rising, many are looking into ways to reduce their cost of living and even exploring ways to move away from their home countries, as the cost of living in the West seems increasingly unfair, as the gap between the amount of money earned and the cost of living decreases. Of course, we do have an understanding and appreciation of how lucky we are in the Western world to have the opportunity to earn large amounts of money when compared to the rest of the world. But when we see the cost of living in some other countries, it is a source of confusion as to how their costs are so much lower in relation to ours. When studying the relative costs of living, and also the various stages of development around the world, you come to the realization that it's all just relative and merely a product of market forces. But if we could harness the power of an income from a relatively rich country to use in a less rich country, we could potentially have the best of both worlds. We all know that Asia is one of the areas of the world where the cost of living is relatively low. But sometimes there is a misunderstanding of which countries in Asia are the cheapest and which are the most expensive, due to some of the countries being over advertised and some of them not being advertised at all. The following countdown and table show the top 15 cheapest countries in Asia in 2026. The cost of living in some of these countries may surprise you. The costs shown are for a single person per month in US dollars and also in pounds. The first country on the list, at number 15, is Japan, which is the most expensive on the list. The cost of living here is 1131 in dollar per month for a single person, which is 837 in pound. Next on the list, at number 14, is Laos, with a cost of living of 1065 in dollar per month, which is 788 in pound. Coming in at number 13 is Mongolia, with 927 in dollar and 686 in pound. And at number 12, Thailand, with 914 in dollar and 676 in pound. At number 11 is Malaysia, with 824 in dollar and 610 in pound. Then at number 10 is Cambodia, with 821 in dollar and 608 in pound. At number 9 is Vietnam, with 652 in dollar and 482 in pound. And at number 8 is China, with 650 in dollar and 481 in pound. Then at number 7 is the Philippines, with 616 in dollar and 456 in pound. At number 6 is Myanmar, with 610 in dollar and 451 in pound. Number 5 on the list is Indonesia, with 575 in dollar and 426 in pound. Then at number 4 is Bangladesh, with 434 in dollar and 321 in pound. And starting our top 3 cheapest countries in Asia is India, with 425 in dollar and 315 in pound. Number 2, and the runner-up is Pakistan with 397 in dollar and 294 in pound. And topping our cheapest country in Asia list for 2026, and also the cheapest country in the world on average, is Nepal, with a cost of living per month of $362, which is £268 per month. So that completes our list of the top 15 cheapest countries in Asia in 2026. So just on the spreadsheet here, so Nepal is the cheapest country in the world on average, and the cheapest country in Asia, with a cost of living of $362, which is £268, which is also €310. So the quality of life score in Nepal is 35 out of 100 on average, and the percentage of English speakers there is 3%. In Pakistan, $397 per month, with a quality of life of 30, and 48% of people speaking English. And in India, a cost of living of $425 in dollars, a quality of life of 46 on average, and 10% of people speaking English. And Bangladesh, $434 in dollars, 38 for quality of life, and 6% of people speaking English. And in Indonesia, $575 in dollars, 49 for quality of life, and 30% of people speaking English. In Myanmar, $610 per month, 22 for a quality of life score on average, which is the lowest on this list, and 4% of people speaking English. In the Philippines, $616 in dollars, 48 for quality of life, and 63% of people speaking English. And in China, $650 per month, and 0.7% of people speaking English, with a 48 score out of 100 for quality of life. And in Vietnam, $652 in dollars, 49 for quality of life, and 10% of people speaking English. In Cambodia, $821 in dollars, 41 for quality of life, and 22% of people speaking English. And in Malaysia, $824 in dollars, 68 for quality of life on average, and 57% people speaking English, which is very high. And in Thailand, $914 per month, 56 out of 100 on average for quality of life, and 27% of people speaking English. And in Mongolia, $927 in dollars, 49 quality of life, and 10% English. And in Laos, $1065 in dollar, 29 for quality of life on average, and 4% English. And in Japan, the cost of living is $1131 in dollars, which equates to $837 in pound, and $967 in euro. And the quality of life score here is the highest on this list, with 89 out of 100, and 28% English. The quality of life is extremely high compared to the rest of this list. So the cheapest city in Nepal is Janakpur, with a cost of living of $284 per month. So there are 17 cities in India which are all cheaper than Janakpur. So the cheapest is Vellore, with a cost of living of $236 per month, which is £175 per month, which is €202. So as we go down the list and the cost of living increases, the range of cost of living is 236 in dollar to 282, which is between £175 and £209, or €202 to €241, which is an extremely low cost of living for all of these cities. Out of the 15 countries on the spreadsheet, there are only 3 which have a quality of life score higher than 50, which are Malaysia, Thailand and Japan. There are only 2 which have a higher percentage of English speakers than 50%, which are the Philippines and Malaysia. So if you are looking for a country which has a low cost of living, high English speakers and a decent standard of life, the Philippines and Malaysia seem to tick all the boxes. Nepal has a cost of living which is only 14.9% of the UK, or 14.4% of the USA. So your purchasing power in Nepal, if using GB pounds or US dollars, should be improved by a factor of at least 6. So the conclusion is that while Nepal has the crown for the country with the cheapest cost of living, if you are looking to travel or relocate to another country and your budget is extremely low, I would suggest you book a ticket to India. Okay guys, that was the top 15 cheapest countries in Asia in 2026. I'll see you on the next one.